Hi there. It seems that I came under criticism yet again for a comment I posted from that person in New Jersey who just likes to find fault with anything certain people on YouTube say or do, and he has made it his life's work. So I posted a comment yesterday on one of Piro's videos. He was talking about the river, and it's a metaphor in his video for life itself. And I posted a comment in which I talked about literalism. Now, Amendum thinks he knows what I meant. He always thinks he knows what I mean when I comment. He thinks he knows what everyone else means. So he put words in my mouth that I never spoke and never intended. When I talk about literalism, I'm generally thinking about the first meaning. And if you don't know what that is, you can check Wikipedia. There'll be a link in the low bar as usual. Literalism is usually a synonym for religious fundamentalism. And most often when I use that, that's what I'm talking about. I posted a comment yesterday on someone else's video in which I used the word literalism, and that is exactly what I meant. In the comment yesterday, I did expand the meaning a little bit to mean someone who doesn't want to allow any metaphors or any kind of figurative language to be admitted to any analogies, to any thinking whatsoever. That's a problem because the human language is written using metaphors, and that's the way we do our thinking. A very really good example of this was something that I saw last night on BBC here in England. And it's a great program. It's called Beautiful Minds. There'll be the first link in the low bar will be to that program, and it was about Richard Dawkins. And I thought it made it really clear why Richard Dawkins is so often misunderstood. First of all, he's misunderstood, and he sort of laments this in the program itself. He's misunderstood because of the title of his book, The Selfish Gene. And he explained why, if he had to do it over, he might have chosen a different title for that book. He might have called it The Altruistic Individual, because you have to be careful if you're going to use metaphors, and you have to do them consciously. I thought, if you have, I think it was an hour, it's so good that it's certainly worth an hour of your time. And you'll only get to see it for 6 days. So it's the first link in the low bar. I mean, I think what we need to do is realize that metaphors are there. And you can either try to get a grip on metaphors and try to understand how they're being used, or you can be a literalist and say that it's just not acceptable to ever use a metaphor. And if you do that, if you decide that that's the way you want to conduct your life, you're going to have an impoverished language. It's almost impossible to communicate with other people without using metaphors or similes or figures of speech or imagery. And Richard Dawkins, one of the reasons he is so eloquent, I mean, think what you like about his views on trying to stop religion altogether. But he is an extremely eloquent writer. And one of the reasons he's an eloquent writer is he knows how to employ metaphors to enhance critical thinking. And it's not easy. But if we don't do that, then we have a very impoverished literal language. Now, the metaphor that gave Amendum such a problem was one in which I referred to the Heraclitean river. Now, Heraclitus is, of course, the Greek who said you can't put your hand in the same river twice. And I was just pointing out that in order to truly understand something, you actually have to immerse yourself in it. And that's what my comment meant. It just meant that to understand something deeply, you have to immerse yourself in it. That's all. That's the literal meaning of that comment. I don't know why Amendum wants to eviscerate people before he understands them, but he does. And that's what he did yesterday. It's too bad. It's because really we're all going to continue to use metaphors. We use them unconsciously, we use them all the time. And it's just sad that we have to continue to talk about not being allowed to use metaphoric language because somehow we obfuscate meaning if we do. Because it's not true. We don't. If they're done well, and Dawkins, say what you like, don't like him if you want to, he is a master at the eloquent, judicious use of metaphors. And if you have an hour, watch the link in the low bar for the next 6 days. Otherwise, just, you know, I don't know, just if you guys want to believe that I intended something malicious in that comment, please go ahead. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But that is what I was basically saying is that in order to understand something, you have to research it deeply and you have to work at it. It's not easy. Understanding, for example, evolution, if you are coming from a religious background, isn't easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of thinking about what's really being said. And, you know, you can't make people change their minds by screaming at them. I mean, maybe you think you can. If that would have worked, a lot of people would have changed their minds already. And as usual, I don't like talking about this, so I will suspend ratings on this because it always results in the same thing. The same group of people come, rate down any video that I post about this, and generally it's just not worth the agony. But so I'm going to post this. But what I suggest you do is spend some time just talking about what metaphors are and whether it's acceptable to use metaphors, and if we use them, shouldn't we be careful about what we're doing with them? That was my point. And don't use, okay? So that's it. You guys take care of yourselves. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.